Alright, hey everybody, so this is a follow-up video to the video I put out a couple days ago, um, going over the stuff that was being said early on about the Ben 10 Classic Complete Collection set, and this is also a second take of this, so yeah, because the initial one went a bit longer than I would have thought, then I got interrupted twice, so had to stop recording, so I want to do this in all one take and everything. So yeah, and to the people who don't like me going and go away. Anyways, so yeah, so looking to just react again to this tweet thread put out by Ben 10 News after uh I'm assuming got got the DVD set and everything, and it pretty much just confirms a lot of stuff I said in the first video and all that. So yeah. So he says here, I received my Benson Classic the Incomplete Collection DVD box set. I like that little jab at it. Addressing the elephant in the room. This thing has some errors. Biggest of which, it's missing 40 episodes of Benson Omniverse. There's also Art of Reboot Vilgax on the disc for Secret of the Omnitrix, and Ben 10 2005 and early AF are in a cropped 4:3 aspect ratio. Yeah, I want to open that in another tab because there was another thing I don't think is in this tweet thread. But yeah, this was something I think I forgot to just mention is the fact that so classic series logo, but reboot Vilgax here. What I'm assuming happened is when they were putting this together and designing the disc arts and the arts of the boxes, as we'll see in a bit, they had PNGs of the characters labeled as just Ben 10 and then insert character name here on their computers and external hard drives. That's my assumption of what happened here. And the people putting together the set did not know there's a difference between classic and the reboot in terms of that. So yeah, and we'll see another error in a second about that. And yeah, in regards to the original series and Alien Force Season 1 being in 4:3, that's because these are reprints of the original discs for original series almost 20 years ago, and then Alien Force almost 20 years ago as well. Probably a little bit over 25 years ago at this point. And yeah, so that, and just so you guys know, all 5 Ben 10 series were animated in widescreen and 16 by, or so that's 16 by 9. 4:3 is the square aspect ratio that used to be the standard for TVs. 16 by 9 was for the longest time the standard for movies when they were shown in theaters, and there were even I think TV movies and whatnot shot in that aspect ratio, but cropped down to 4:3 for TV airings and all that. So yeah, and only years later, when remastering the film stock, could you get home releases with the actual original aspect ratios intact. But yeah, so them being in 4:3 on these discs is a huge error when you can get the 16 by 9 versions of the episodes on digital platforms. You can watch them on streaming. They show them in reruns on TV. It's and they just put those everywhere. The fact that they just reprinted the discs and thought that was fine is just a huge problem. They didn't even try, or they didn't even think to check to make sure the episodes on the discs are in the proper aspect ratio. So, yeah. The collection is actually 2 cases inside of a large box. The first case has Ben 10 2005 and Alien Force inside of it. The second case has Ultimate Alien, Omniverse, Secret of the Omnitrix, and Destroy All Aliens. So yeah. The discs are stacked overlapping, and this is a thing I don't like. Both Cartoon Network or Warner Bros. and Paramount are using these disc cases with whatever company they're using to print these sets. And yeah, and I just got the Fairly Odd Parents complete series set, and it has the exact same case as these do for all of these discs. And it's not great to stack discs, especially when they're DVDs. I have had numerous instances of DVDs and Blu-rays even being scratched on the bottoms of them because they were stacked. And because they are stacked when they're in transit, whether it's from whatever dispatch center prints and packs the discs and cases and everything for shipping to the companies that are selling these things. And then if you're ordering online, there's even more shipping through whatever shipping company that they use for an online store from their warehouse where they're keeping these things to you. So there's a lot of chances of the discs moving and sliding around in transit in a circle on top of each other, and it just does not help the discs, and especially for DVDs, because Blu-rays at the very least have a scratch-resistant coating that helps. DVDs don't have something like that. They are more susceptible to scratching and everything, so it's really, really stupid to stack discs like this, and all that. So yeah. The back cover of the OS/AF case has a weird tagline I don't think marketing has ever used for Ben 10, not a fan. Omniverse's 5th season, which was subtitled Galactic Monsters, has its own unique disc art and its own blurb on the back of the UA/OV case. So, as you can see here, in regards to this is like a big thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this shit. So we have the cases here, and on the back, I did address this. I just genuinely don't understand these screenshots that they used for this series. But then there's a screenshot here of OmniKicks, I believe, forearms from the reboot. I don't understand why they used that, but again, I think it is a screw up on the part of the people that threw this stuff together when they were designing the cases, or the case, the outer case things and everything, the covers, I guess, and everything. But yeah, it's just really, really dumb. And then these, because of this, so Omniverse and Ultimate Alien, and then Alien Force season 2 on, are the only seasons to be in proper widescreen. However, on these discs. However, these screenshots are widescreen. I believe this is from the first episode of Alien Force, or the first two-parter. And then this is from a season 3 episode, I believe, of Classic, where it's the Galactic Enforcers episode. And these are the widescreen versions of the episodes. So they had the widescreen versions of the episodes available on their like external hard drives at Warner Bros. To screenshot and use for the backs of these. So they could have easily used the 480p versions of the widescreen versions of the episodes and put them on the discs. To fix that for Classic and AF Season 1. I'm just saying right there. Next, let's get to the episodes. So, each series has its own blurb where they have a description of everything. And you see the original series has 49 episodes. Technically it's 52 because Secret of the Omnitrix is a 3-part, technically. It takes up 3 episodes worth of the series production. But because they consider it a movie, they took those 3 and just put them as a movie. But yeah. Alien Force is 46 episodes. That's really weird that it's 46 episodes. You would think that would be 52, but I don't know. Considering how Alien Force Season 3 went, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. But yeah, then we have Ultimate Alien having 52. And then Omniverse says 80, But, as we will see, and as I said in the first video, there's about 40 to 45 episodes missing of Omniverse. So, yeah. And it even says right here on the back of the box here, more than 200 episodes. So, it's technically supposed to be 227 episodes when you add all of these up. 227 minus 40 is 187. And if you want to take away, I think it's 3 more, that's 184, right? So, no matter how you slice it, this is wrong. This is genuine, like, false advertising. I do think personally that it is a screw up on the people who threw this together's part. And because they thought, hey, let's reuse the old discs rather than making new discs, and not just passing this off to, like, I don't know, Warner Archive so they can put it on Blu-ray, or put all the shows on Blu-ray, they thought that they were covered with all of Omniverse. I don't know how you, as an employee whose job it is to be in charge and on top of these things, to make sure all of the episodes and everything you can possibly put in from prior releases does not make it in. I really don't understand that. Because how do you look at Omniverse, which has 80 episodes, and there's only about, I think, 5 no, probably like, yeah, probably like 5 discs, maybe. I don't know how many were in the individual, or the first 3 individual volumes, but how do you look at this? How do you look at Omniverse, which has 80 episodes in total, and you only see about 5 discs? How do you fit 80 episodes of a show that is like 22 to 25 minutes a pop for each episode, and think that that makes any sense? That doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like someone should have checked that at some point when they were throwing this together. And some people may say, well, why would they? This is just... I had someone on Reddit, I think, say this, that it could be just a collection of the previous discs. The thing, though, is this has more than 200 episodes. On the back, for Omniverse, it says that's supposed to have 80 episodes. Nope. It has 40 to 45 episodes missing. And I will get on what are missing in a second. But that's kind of the thing, is like, how do you only see 5 discs for one series that has 80 episodes, and you think that that is good to go? That's actually a point I didn't bring up originally, so I'm glad I'm redoing this. But yeah, that's just a thing I just don't understand about this. So, yeah. And on top of that, how do you, when going to get screenshots of each individual series, how do you screw up what is the original series and what is the reruns? Or not reruns, the reboot of this? The original series and the reboot have 2 different art styles. Most of the voice cast is different, and a lot is just different between the 2 shows stylistically. So I have no idea how you screw up like this if you're genuinely just watching like, I guess, random pickings of episodes to get screenshots from. And that's kind of the thing. Are these 3 from... I know this is from the first episode of Alien, or Ultimate Alien. I believe this is from the opening 2-parter of Alien Force. I think this is actually from Ben 10 Returns Part 2. And then, I think this is probably from one of the first 2 episodes of Ben 10 Omniverse. Why is it a random Season 3 episode that you pick the screenshot for Classic for? I really don't understand that. Wouldn't it be the first episode or 2 that you'd pick? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, and then also the screenshots here from other episodes, I don't quite understand, if I'm being completely honest. First you have 1 picture of one series and then 2 of the others. Wouldn't it make more sense to have like 4 with 2 screenshots each? because this is supposed to be a screenshot of Classic, even though it's the reboot. If they did it right, it would be a screenshot of Classic. But you have two Alien Force pictures. This one makes sense. I think it's from one of the first few episodes where they meet Alan Albright. This, I think, is from a season 2 episode. And by the way, because of the fact that they have these screenshots, that also proves that they have the widescreen versions of the episodes because they're in widescreen. But why would you choose a screenshot of Ben, Kevin, and Simeon from the first episode Simeon shows up in? That doesn't make any sense to me. You'd think there would be just a picture of Ben, Gwen, and Kevin. And I don't know. And if these are supposed to be just pictures of Ben with his Omnitrix, which it seems like this is supposed to be and this is supposed to be, why do you have a picture of Ben as multiple Echoes and then Ben as Humongosaur about to scare away the reporters here? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Then these screenshots. This one I think is fine because I think this is from the first 2 episodes. I'm trying to remember. Actually, I think it's only one episode that opens. Yeah, it's only one episode that opens Ultimate Alien. Then I think the second or third episode, I think it's the second episode, is the 100th episode in total of Ben 10, and it's the worst episode of the franchise, but or at least the first 3 series. And then you have 2 Omniverse screenshots. One is Ben being hunted down by Tarantula, which actually I think is fine, but then you have this screenshot that's I think the episode where Julie comes back. Isn't this from like season 2 or something? And you have Ben being hugged by the Tetraman woman. I can't remember her name for the life of me, and I don't care. And then you have Rook and Julie right here, and it's just like, what is going on here? You think that they would choose like something, I don't know, maybe Ben fighting malware or something like that, or maybe the shot from I think the end of season 2 where Ben's meeting up with the like representation of his younger self. I don't know. Like, this is just design like inconsistency and stupidity. At the very least, from a fan's perspective, I don't expect the people that put these sets together to what is the word, to be fans of the show. It's just, I don't know. It is just really, really dumb. Hold on one second. Let's see. So yeah. And then, yeah, I just don't know. That's just really dumb to me. So, yeah. The Omniverse thing here is for a thing in a second. So, here we go. The DVDs are unfortunately in airing order rather than production order. As previously mentioned, 40 episodes of Omniverse are missing. Here's a list by Chuckles Jester showing what is missing. So, why production order matters. At the very least, when it comes to Omniverse, the rest of the shows are whatever. But when it comes to Omniverse, a good amount of episodes from the first 4 seasons, hell, it even goes into season 6, I'm not gonna lie, were shown out of order. And what I mean by that is, look at the production codes here, and then you can look at the overall and in-story arc numbers here. So you go from 101 to 102 to 103. Okay, so that's in order. Then you go to 106, 108, 105, 104, 108, or 107, 109 to 110. Okay, so the first season is largely out of order, but at the very least, it's just season 1 episodes. So that's not too bad. Season 2 has multiple episodes out of order, which, you know, at the very least, it's not too bad here. It's still just season 2 episodes. But look, 3 season 3 episodes aired before the season finale 2-parter. Yeah. No idea why, and they're from not even the beginning of season 3. They're from after season 3. I I don't understand this. I don't know maybe if Cartoon Network was seeing maybe fan reactions or general response to Benton Omniverse early on, and though they had the lineup for season one's airing, um, like on the canon and everything, as soon as they were getting more and more episodes from seasons 2 and 3 in there, while they had to schedule certain things in terms of episodes, they thought, hey, let's throw the more exciting episodes that people would like to see up early. The thing they didn't know though is this screws up continuity because right here, feedback for 16-year-old Ben, even though it's in the middle of the arc where he doesn't have him and he's going to get him back in the season finale. I was almost going to say series finale, but in the season finale. This is a thing that I just do not understand with this at all. You know, at the very least with Classic and then Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, while they did show episodes out of order, largely they were not that bad in terms of being out of order because, even though it's not how the writers and Dwayne McDuffie and Man of Action intended you necessarily to see the episodes, it doesn't mess with anything in terms of the continuity. It at least nothing too big. Because at the very least, the episodic natures of those shows allowed there to be a little bit of flexibility. Omniverse, while having a more episodic feel than I would say first two seasons of Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, still has arcs. That's why Wikipedia is going with story arc rather than season. So yeah, that's just really, really stupid. Then you throw a random season 4 episode at the end here, and then you're airing the season finales. You moved a season 2 episode right here, and then you still have one season 3 episode. But then they moved the first episode of season 3 to the start of season 4. Again, not really too much bad in terms of that because of the fact that like episodic show more so and everything. But after the malware arc, this was supposed to be, I think, a new exciting thing because it's the Secret Saturdays crossover. You know? Um it's really, really dumb, and I don't understand that. Then for the rest of season 4, most of it seems to be aired in proper production order, minus a few stragglers. But at the very least, no season 4 episodes blend or bleed into season 5, and no season 5 episodes are bleeding into season 4. However, they showed 2 episodes of season 6 before season 5 had wrapped up, and they moved the 2-part finale to season 5 to the beginning of season 6. It just, I don't know. It's just really weird. But after that, they show the episodes in production order. And on top of that, they're showing them almost every day, it seems. Seems like I think weekends are probably... Yeah, I think this is weekends because you notice the gaps. This is around the time where Cartoon Network lost complete faith in Benton Omniverse because I don't think they're probably getting decent ratings, but the what do you call it? The merch wasn't selling as well as it should have been from what they probably estimated or wanted. So, compared to the previous shows. So, what they decided to do was burn off the rest of the episodes that they had in the can, which was about 4 seasons worth, so about 40 episodes, on Monday morning, or not Mondays, but like in the mornings at like 6 a.m. Because I've read this somewhere. not doing so would mean they'd have to pay like a fine or some shit, and this is just a way to make sure that they don't have to pay extra taxes. So that is mainly the reason why. Um, so yeah. At the very least, we had proper production order for these episodes to air in, but the thing about it is just like, yeah, they were not great. So yeah. Okay, so the DVDs here. Okay, so it is just 40 episodes because volumes 4 and 5 only had 5 episodes each. But then on top of that, you look at these episode numbers. Um so 31, 34, and 37 to 39, that's not great. And then here 41 to 42 and then 46 to 48, that's not great either. So you're incomplete on seasons 3 to 4 when it comes to there. Uh so yeah. Um I don't know. It just does not look great in regards to this. Um, digitally, the show has been released in its entirety, but yeah, this box set is unfortunately falsely advertised. Hopefully, WB Entertainment will fix this for those that were excited for this release. But taking it for what it is, it's at least the cheapest way to buy the pre-existing DVD releases, considering this is a repackaged print of those. If you got one, whether you are keeping it, returning it, or even canceling your pre-order, I suggest you contact whoever you pre-ordered it from, as well as emailing. This is Warner Home Video at warnerbrosdiscovery.com or WHV at WBD.com. I will be. Politely let them know that the box set, despite saying in the product itself that it has all 80 episodes, is missing half of Omniverse. The only way we have a chance of getting this mistake fixed is by letting them know in numbers that there is a mistake that needs fixed or needs fixing. So yeah, and then I remembered there was something else this guy posted that I wanted to talk about. So here, update. Disc 8 has all 4 versions of Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix in the special features. So this is basically, I think what is it? It's I guess the second disc of season 4, because I have the original DVD release from back in the day. All 4 versions of Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix. So this box set, in addition to all its errors, needlessly has a separate SOTO disc that is inferior to the special features section of one of the season 4 discs, also included. So yeah, okay, so I think, yeah. So it has an extra Secret of the Omnitrix disc that it doesn't need, and that is because they're reusing the disc from the 4 DVD pack that has the 4 Ben 10 movies from the original continuity. That's also a thing with this set, is it doesn't have the live action movies. And the fact that it doesn't have the live action movies is really stupid, because the thing about the live action movies is Race Against Time is not canon. I believe it was made to be originally, but it was later retconned to not be, and retconned to take place in an alternate timeline. And yeah, but the villain Eon was retconned to still be alive, and he shows up in Ultimate Alien and Omniverse. Okay, doesn't make sense either way or in either series, but he still shows up, and it's expected you know who he is by watching that movie. Even though what they say in the episodes contradicts what's in the movie, but that's a discussion for another time. Alien Swarm is directly canon with Alien Force. It takes place in between seasons 2 and 3 of Alien Force. And Ben's car gets established, Elena and her father get established, and Nanomech shows up. I can't remember if Nanomech shows up in season 3 of Alien Force, but they all show up at the very least in Ultimate Alien. So yeah, and they write them in in Ultimate Alien as though the audience is already familiar with them from having watched that movie. So not having them, or not having those discs in this set is really weird. And in case if someone's going to bring this up, they kind of need those discs because of that fact, you know? Plus, they were made during the production of the classic continuity, so it just makes sense to include those discs, especially when they have the other 2 discs from that 4-disc set in there. It's called the Complete Collection. It's supposed to have everything from the first 9 years of the franchise. So it's stupid to say otherwise. So in terms of the 4 different editions of the movie, there's the original edition, which has Heat Blast as the alien at the beginning and then the flashbacks. A second one, which has Accelerate, replacing Heat Blast. A third one, which has Eye Guy, replacing Heat Blast. And a fourth version, which is a pop-up edition, which if you don't know what those are, during the last however long of the franchise, in the last few weeks or so, Cartoon Network started airing pop-up trivia versions of the episodes that often had trivia written in by the writers, whether they be like stuff that they didn't write into the series, but maybe they had background info for like some characters or some things that happened or whatever. And there's also stuff that like has that. And then Race Against Time also had a pop-up edition as well. I remember watching that. And unfortunately, those versions of the episodes, minus SOTO, have not seen the light of day until, I think it was last year. Someone who had a VHS rip of all of those episodes, someone recorded them at the time. They ripped them from the VHS, transferred them from the VHS, probably more so, and put them on in 2 batches on the Internet Archive. Unfortunately, I think Warner Bros. Copyright struck that. But this was also a thing that I kind of wish that they did for this release, was have the pop-up trivia versions of the episodes, because I imagine those might have only been in 4x3 though, so I don't know. So yeah, it's just really, really odd. And I realized this after I did my previous video, that the extra SOTO disc really is unnecessary. And I don't know, just seems like they didn't realize that they had 2 copies or 2 discs that had the same movie on it, and one was inferior and just didn't need to be in there. So yeah, so that's about it, I think. So yeah, contact Warner Bros. Discovery. They will hopefully take note of this. Tell them about the 40 episodes missing from Omniverse. Tell them about the wrong aspect ratio for Classic and Alien Force Season 1. Tell them about episodes not being in production order, and just make them aware. Also, possibly the errors that are on the packaging, but that's the least of the worries, I think, for this set. Just let them know. Make them aware. We need to contact them. They are a company. Warner Bros. Discovery is a company that is hurting badly for money. Okay, because, like, here's the thing. Warner Bros. Discovery, the people in charge of that company keep making stupid decision after stupid decision that's losing the company money. Like, that is a thing that just keeps happening. And I don't think they're ever going to learn until, like, new people are in charge. But they are hurting for money. It's why all of these shows and more were taken, and by these shows I mean Ben 10, and more were taken off of HBO Max. It's primarily because of the fact that they can't afford all of the space on their servers for HBO Max. And they don't consider older shows from at least 20 years ago that probably not a lot of people are watching on the streaming service, to be honest. They don't consider those to be necessary to have on the streaming services because they got to pay for the server space. They would rather stuff from the last, I don't know, maybe decade, movies, stuff that's really popular and poppin' and all this shit that has like retained a good amount of popularity and everything and drives or brings in the viewers and subscribers and whatnot. They consider those and stuff that's newer as well. They consider that stuff more worth it to have on their streaming service than an older cartoon or 4 older cartoons from 10 to 20 years ago. That's just how they see it. Business wise, it makes sense, even if we don't like it, but it's also really shitty because there's no streaming service way to watch most of these shows. I believe Classic is still on Netflix, and I believe Netflix would have the widescreen versions of the episodes. So yeah, so if you're not, so that's partly why they've been releasing these DVD sets, is to give people a chance to, or a way to watch the episodes of the shows that they really like, and because they can't keep them on their service, and they also want to make some money from it. This was a very cheap way to re-release these discs, and it's just, yeah. On top of that, $100 for what is supposed to be 227 episodes and 2 movies, that would actually be a good deal if we had all those episodes in this. Okay? And yeah, so make sure that we get our voices heard. So hopefully they do something about this, that they, what is it? That they, I'm trying to think. That they correct this, that they make maybe a new version of this that has the widescreen versions of Classic and Alien Force Season 1, that they have the rest of the episodes of Omniverse, and hopefully they put everything in production order, because, like, yeah, while it doesn't necessarily matter too much for the first 3 series, Omniverse was fucked over early on in some ways, in regards to the episode orders being way off, for seasons 2 and 3 particularly. So yeah, but yeah, so that's it for this. I hope that this, I hope that something positive can happen from this, and we get something that's good from this, and we get our voices heard, and Warner Bros. Makes good on this, and they, like, actually have something worth buying. So, yeah. So, I have nothing else to say, so links in the description on my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.